Good morning. Welcome to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. I'm Gary Demas. I'm president of Dave Fox Design Builder Modelers in here. And Jamie, you are you're not the sales director, you're the marketing director.
Yes.
Right? But you just tell the sales director what to do, right? Like you were doing the other day.
I try to.
Yeah.
I try to.
Okay. So today's Sunday, June 20th. Wow, is this the first day of summer?
Tomorrow is.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. Usually my daughter's birthday is on the 21st.
Oh, okay.
Usually that's the first day of summer.
Okay.
But summer, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also another special day, Father's Day.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you. And tell Oscar I said Happy Father's Day.
Will do.
All right. So I'm sure you've got lots of great things planned for Oscar.
Oh, yeah. Really big plans.
Yeah.
Lots of plans.
Good.
Sure.
All right. Well, dads, a little bit of attention's nice, but Mother's Day is, you got to make sure you nail that one. So, okay.
Yeah.
So welcome everybody aboard this morning. We talk about remodeling on this show, Jamie, right? And
We do.
Primarily residential remodeling.
Yeah.
All types of remodeling. So if you're just tuning in, we've got a lot of interesting things to talk about today regarding bathrooms. Mm-hmm. So if you have a bathroom in your future, well, you probably all have a bathroom anyways, right?
Right,
But if you have
yes.
a bathroom remodel in your future.
Yes. We got a great list of do's and don'ts and tips.
So Jamie gets this big list off the internet, right?
Yeah,
So
I just
then-
kind of pull it from different areas.
Sure.
And
And we all know you can believe everything on the internet.
that's right.
But
All
I'm
very
going
truthful.
to fact check everything today.
Oh, no.
All right?
Okay.
So we're going to see how accurate the internet really is.
Okay.
Okay, so this will be fun. Because I just looked over this barely, but I mean, I'm sure you've studied this now for a couple of days and know all these details and facts.
Yeah, I always think it's interesting to kind of, I ask around our interior design department, their opinion on some of the things that we're going to be talking about. And then I like to look online as well and do a little research to see what's out there. And I think that the nice thing about doing that and seeing what's on the internet is because that is where everybody goes to do their research.
Yeah.
And here we can address that on kind of a real level of, is that, a good information? Is it not as great of information? Is it, does it relate to Columbus? Not all things relates to Central Ohio. California has different style, different rules, different goals than we do here in Ohio, things like that. So I always like pulling things off the internet too, to kind of get that general information and hone in on it.
Sure. And that's good. Obviously, what you can learn from other people's experience is very valuable, especially if it's an unbiased point of view.
Yeah.
But on the internet, you'll get marketing bias too in a lot of stuff.
What?
So,
We don't do that.
No, I know you don't do that, Jamie, but believe me, there are other marketing companies out there that kind of tweak things a little bit in their favor. But I'm not going to allow that to happen on this show. I'm going to be the unbiased view of experience.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So I just want to let all of our listeners know that you can go to davefoxradio.com, and there we have a list of, all of the previously recorded shows, which goes back in time, ancient history.
Yes, it goes back and back, about 9 years.
9 years. And then we've got some shows that are video recorded, and we only do those shows if I dress myself well that morning, right? But
yeah, sometimes we're pulling you out of a shop and
yeah,
there's a little bit too much sawdust
yeah,
for the
and
video.
we can't videotape those shows.
Yeah, and sometimes you're pulling me out of the shop.
Really?
Maybe not.
Okay, maybe not. That's right. I can't remember any time that you didn't.
Okay, well, it might happen. Okay, it might
happen. It could happen. And then we'll have to cancel the recording because Jamie just doesn't look good enough on that day. All right, so again, happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. And many of you are probably do-it-yourselfers and you like to do some work on your home yourself to some level. So maybe you guys can pick up some tidbits this morning as we talk through this bathroom. We're going to talk about design and what else, Jamie? You're the one that got the list together.
Yeah, we're going to talk about just some do's and don'ts. So with the layout of your bathroom, some design elements, and then just some things to keep in mind with different storage solutions, lighting, things like that are all kind of key players in a bathroom space.
Definitely. Well, let's dig into it. So where do we start with this?
Well, let's start with the layout and talking about kind of the scale of your bathroom. So with the different sizes of the bathroom kind of depicts what you can fit in your bathroom.
Yeah.
You might have kind of your wish list of, oh, I want this beautiful freestanding tub. I want a huge walk-in shower. Maybe you don't want your shower to have a door. That kind of usually needs some actually additional space, whereas you'd think it would need less space because you don't have that swing of the door. But it's just kind of talking through your layout and your scale of different pieces in your bathroom. And you can go ahead and maybe debunk this. One of the things I read was to not put a 60-inch freestanding tub in a room that's only 7 feet wide.
Okay, now as I read this,
or maybe it was 70 inches wide. I think I forgot the zero there,
okay,
Gary.
what I see in front of
happened.
me is don't put a 60-inch freestanding tub in a room that is only 7 inches wide.
Yeah.
And I agree wholeheartedly with that.
Yeah.
The only
That would
thing
be
you
a good
can
one.
wash in that room is your foot.
Right.
Okay?
I think I had a typo.
Okay. All right. So 60-inch tub in a room that's only 7 feet wide. So
Or
5
70
feet
inches wide.
versus 7 feet. So 60 inches is 5 feet. So that gives you a foot on each end. So that's enough space.
But if it's 70 inches,
70 inches,
that would be a little too tight.
that's pretty tight. That's 5
Yeah.
inches on each side.
Yeah.
So
So I think that you would
couldn't
not
hardly
want to
even
do.
get your foot in that space.
No. Yeah, and I think one other thing that kind of came up while I was reading is even if you think, oh, I don't mind that aesthetically it's a little tight or things like that, you also have to think through to the extent of, can you clean it? You have to be able to get back around things to be able to clean them, assuming that you'll do that from time to time. So even if you're thinking to yourself that you're willing to make the exception for some of the sizing on things or the scale, not only is it going to compromise the overall feeling of the room, but you do also need to factor in kind of the ability to get back there to clean things or
Yes.
fix things.
To service it, yes.
Yes. all
So your
those
plumber will
importance.
not be happy with you if he has to get into that kind of a situation. But, one of the tricks to play there in that scenario, Jamie, is to put the tub on an angle. So we've done that from time to time, and it actually adds a little design flair to the room. But if you just tilt it at an angle so that you do have more clearance, so that you can actually walk around the tub and service it, that sometimes works in a tight space.
That's a good idea. So rule of thumb is that you should have at least 8 inches from the wall for a freestanding tub on both ends to allow for cleaning and access and things like that. And I would say that's probably even on the small end of what you might want to do.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 inches is a little more reasonable because, you're going to have to walk around that tub for something to clean
Right.
it, to raise or lower your shades, who knows what.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, definitely. But, again, just kind of thinking through the scale of everything in your bathroom and comparing that with your kind of wants and needs list. And kind of first going through and thinking, okay, do I have room for all of these elements? Do I have one that's most important to me?
Yeah.
And things like that.
Right. And if you're working with a designer, they're going to point those things out. And really, tubs are available in different lengths. So 60 inches or 5 foot is a very standard length, but they also make them in 54 inches, 48 inches, or larger, you can go 66 or 72. So you do have a lot of options, too, on the size of the tub.
Yeah, and I think with that, you just have to think someone that's maybe 6'4" and might not be interested in making that compromise.
Right. Yep.
But someone like me that's only 5'2", that doesn't seem like that would be a problem.
Yep. Yeah, I think that would work.
Yeah, so just kind of making sure that you've crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's when you're considering that sizing.
Exactly. Okay, so all of you are listening to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show, and we love putting the show on and giving our audience information about remodeling. We're going to be right back. And welcome back. I'm Gary Demas, and I'm president of Dave Fox Design Build Remodelers. And Jamie, today we're talking about bathroom remodeling. So in bathrooms, you've got a variety of situations. It could be a master bathroom, could be a hall bath, Could be a Jack and Jill bath. Could be a basement bath.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have them all over your house. Right?
Yeah. Super convenient to have more than
Yeah.
one. Highly recommend it.
Okay, so let us know what's coming up next, Jamie, here.
Okay.
On our
So
list.
we were talking about kind of the scale of different things in your bathroom and going through your wish list and things like that. Some other design elements or things to consider in your design is the location of the toilet. You know, a lot of people, especially in a master bathroom, like to have it be separate from kind of the main area, vanity area of the bathroom. And even on top of that, it's ideal to make it so that you don't open the door into the bathroom and look straight at a toilet. Even in a powder room, you know, that's not ideal. No one really loves to look at toilets. They're porcelain, they're fine.
Except
but
the toilet designers probably
Right.
love looking at them. But
yeah, they might be offended by this, but for the most part, that's kind of a no-no. You want to kind of tuck it away as much as possible. Maybe make your pretty vanity kind of what you see when you walk by or open the door. Spend some time trying to find the best place for your view when you walk into the room and things like that.
okay, I have kind of a funny story about that.
Okay.
So at my home, our powder room on the first floor, which is the guest bathroom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the house. Our house is 1990, built in 1990. So was desperately in need of remodeling, which I've tackled almost everything. And
Yeah.
the powder room was on the list just not very long ago. So as I always do, I get one of our interior designers involved to help me and my wife figure out what to do. So our powder room had just that scenario. With the door open, you were looking right at the toilet.
Yeah.
So here I am being in the business for over 150 years. And it just didn't, I knew we needed to remodel the powder room, but it didn't even dawn on me, you know, to switch things around. And that's the first thing the designer did. Andrea.
Yeah.
She said, well, we're going to move the toilet over here because you don't want to be staring at it from the hallway. And I thought, duh, of course.
Yeah.
And then we put the beautiful vanity right there.
Where you could see it.
So it was a little extra work for me and the remodeling crew to move that plumbing. But
Yeah.
my gosh, it's all done. It was so worth it.
Yeah.
So now when that door's open, you see a real nice vanity, a nice mirror, a nice lighting. It's a whole different experience.
Yeah. I think that's, you know, a perfect example of where that scenario really comes into play. Also, you know, especially in my house, the powder room is really near the front door. And it's funny because if you walked straight into the bathroom, it's the vanity that's straight in front of you, and then the toilet is to the left. But the problem is where you walk in from the front door, the angle you see straight into the toilet.
Okay.
So it's like they thought through it, but not quite all the way.
Yeah. Didn't think
But-
of all the different vantage points.
Yes, but my youngest thinks that the toilet is a water table.
Oh.
So we have the door closed all the time anyway.
Okay.
There we go. Problem solved. But yeah, you definitely want to think through those types of situations. And then in the master bathroom where you're typically sharing it with someone else that might walk in on you from time to time, getting that out of view or in a separate room is also typically ideal.
Yeah. And, you know, if someone's in that scenario where the toilet really needs to be moved, it's nice to know that you can usually move it maybe 4 or 5 feet away from where it's at now without having to change the vent.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So if you get much beyond there, then you're going to have to change the vent. But if the vent's going straight up right behind that toilet,
Yeah.
then 4 feet, 5 feet maybe away, you're good to go.
All
Makes it a
right.
little easier.
Good. And the toilet's another I guess bathroom appliance that you definly want to keep kind of those 8 to 10 inches on either side
For elbow room.
cleaning, elbow room,
Yeah.
things like that.
Sure.
I also, personal preference, in our master bathroom, we do have a separate room for the toilet, but it has a swinging door that swings in.
Oh,
It's really annoying.
yeah.
So I would much prefer it. If we had the space for it to be a pocket door or a barn door. There's not often that much space in a bathroom for that
Yeah.
scenario, but the door tends to be.
Yeah, it takes about 3 more
Tricky.
steps to make that work, right? You got to
Yeah.
step around the door so that you can get it open and closed, and
Yeah,
otherwise,
the work around it's very tight for it being a door that swings in. Whereas if it swung out, I think I would just probably have it closed all the time.
Yeah.
But another one of those kind of food for thought things to think through and kind of consider when you're designing your space.
Yeah.
But
that's a good one. I agree with that.
All right, good. Storage is obviously another big factor in a bathroom. There's a lot of stuff in a bathroom. I know personally I like products. So keeping all of that somewhere. And, you want to make sure that you're focusing on that function of the space opposed to just the aesthetic of the space, and kind of keeping an eye on, what your needs are. And then also on different levels of storage, just having one big vanity in the bathroom and no other storage options. Not storage all below you isn't necessarily ideal. Sometimes you might want it kind of at that eye height or that kind of functionality, hand gripping height and things like that. So the medicine cabinet mirrors are a great solution in a lot of ways. I know we have one in our showroom that's really cool, and it's a slide up. It slides up, and it's like the secret little compartment. And there's even outlets inside of it and everything.
Yep. Anti-fog mirrors.
Yeah, the anti-fog mirrors, things like that. But the one in our showroom, I also especially like that it slides up, the mirror slides up, and then the storage inside also has a mirrored back. So if you are going to, lift it up to brush your teeth or something like that, you don't necessarily have to close it to utilize the item. You can just leave it open, use your items, and then close it.
Yeah. Yeah, those
so
things
I think that's
are great.
smart.
Yep. You might have to trade your car in on one, but other than that, they're great.
They are. But they are a good storage solution, especially in smaller spaces, definitely. And then some key measurements that we found on medicine cabinets and vanities. With a medicine cabinet above your vanity should be the same width as the vanity or slightly smaller, never larger, which
true.
I think makes sense.
Yeah. Just looks top heavy and out of proportion.
Yeah.
The proportion is so critical with design, and any good design is going to take that into consideration. A lot of times the rule of thirds comes into play, but for correct weighting, visual weight, because when you look at things, your mind immediately gets a sense of what it's looking at and does a judgment call right away. So when things are not weighted properly or not aligned properly, or if colors mismatch, any of those things just give you an immediate signal that's not a positive one. But if things are done very well, you can walk into a room and it's just you feel so good about it, and you may not be able to put your finger on why you feel so good about it.
Yeah.
But it's just incredible the difference that makes.
I always think of interior designers as kind of, professional athletes in a way, that they kind of have this special ability to be able to put their finger on why, because I might walk into a space and be like, oh, I love it. Or, I like individual things, but for some reason the space overall doesn't feel good. Like I love the tile, but something's off. And interior designers, they really have that kind of special talent, like an athlete or a professional, obviously a professional interior designer would have, to pinpoint on why and what that is, and, what maybe the miss was on what feels off.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so today we're talking bathrooms, and we've got a list of information that Jamie got from the internet, and I am fact-checking it, right? With an unbiased point of view, so you can trust me, Gary Demas. But everything you read online, you got to be a little wary of, because it might have a little marketing tweak in it.
Unless it's on our website.
That's right. We're going to tell you the pure gospel. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Jamie, we've been talking about bathrooms, and here we are on is this segment 3?
Sure is.
Okay. So we covered some sizing, like of freestanding tubs, which are popular now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are taking the old, I think in the 80s, all those bathrooms now need remodels. So if you have an 80s bathroom, you need to call us.
Yes.
We need to help you fix all those things. And what was so common in the 80s, and I can remember because I had a showroom in the 80s that had just what I'm talking about, is the big deck-mounted tub with the steps going up to it, which is the most stupid design ever created.
Yeah, that did not have safety in mind.
No, not
Or
only that,
space.
but it hogged a lot of space.
Yeah.
But it made it look like there's this big monument thing in your bathroom that I don't know. At the time, it looked really cool and appealing, but it didn't take long to figure out that that does not work well.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are taking those out, but a lot of our clients really want a tub, so they want to go with a freestanding tub that's not, it's just the complete opposite of what was in there before, right?
Yeah,
So it's
definitely.
in terms of taking space, it's very efficient. You just step directly into it, which is much more safe. You're stepping almost from the one level to the same level.
Yeah.
Where if you were climbing up those steps, you had to step down into a tub or step up out of it, which was crazy.
Right.
So freestanding tubs have been a popular item, and finding space for those. Because usually when they had the great big monument bathtub deck mounted, it was hogging all the space. Now they want larger showers, so get that thing out, big old deck tub out, put a lot larger shower in, so it leaves less space for a tub. But since it's a freestanding tub, we can almost always get a decent one in there. And as we mentioned, might have to put it on a little bit of an angle. And then what else did we talk about?
We talked about a couple storage ideas, and then also with the medicine cabinets, they can really be a great storage solution. They're a little costly though for kind of what you're getting, but they are great storage, and they've come up with a lot of new kind of unique designs and things like that to kind of modernize them a bit. But
and speaking of the cost, yes, some of them can be expensive, but you got to think about this. Every single day you're using that, right?
yeah,
And it's a valuable appliance, or whatever you call it, fixture.
Yeah.
It's called a fixture. You're getting a lot of use out of it, so it's worth spending a little money to get something that's really going to suit you well. It's going to have this easy, convenient storage. A lot of them have really nice lighting built into them, or we might be putting sconce lights on either side of it, whatever. But that's not an area to skimp. It's a very functional area. You're using it every single day, and that's
Yeah.
worth something.
and mirrors in general tend to be a little expensive. So having one that it's also storage and light, makes a lot of sense. But
Okay.
yeah, so other kind of storage items would be to consider storage options beyond the vanity drawers and cabinets. So we mentioned the medicine cabinets as an option, but you also don't want your vanity to kind of dominate the room. You don't necessarily want it taking up the whole room. It kind of gives it a bit of a clunky feel sometimes too, and might make a small space feel crowded. So looking at some alternative options to house the bathing products, things like that, is vertical wall hung cabinets, also incorporating mirrors in other cabinet doors and areas of the bathroom besides over the vanity can really expand the space. Add additional lighting, towel bars, just kind of save some space throughout the bathroom and adds kind of unique elements and things like that.
Yeah. Large mirrors definitely can make a room feel much larger. And if you take, the bathroom, the powder room I was talking about that I remodeled, it had a huge wall-to-wall mirror in there. And where the vanity was clear across the wall. So it was a gigantic mirror. The room's not that big, but with that huge mirror in there, basically went from the vanity top clear to the ceiling with the beautiful bar light across, with all the multiple bulbs.
Yeah.
Which again went back in the
Real
80s.
classic look.
Back in the 80s was an amazing thing.
Yes.
But I told my designer I wanted to keep that, and she just laughed. I was joking. But that mirror, the huge mirror, went out, and we moved the vanity over and put a smaller, really beautiful mirror with a really beautiful framing and stuff. Smaller mirror, so the room doesn't really give you the illusion of being as big as it was.
Yeah.
But it's laid out so well that it doesn't feel small. It just feels just right.
Yeah. Awesome. Good. Yeah, and speaking of lighting, Gary, it's a really important element in a bathroom, especially when it's your bathroom that you're using for every day and getting ready and things like that. You don't want to just kind of put in that traditional downlight above the mirror and deal with all the shadows. There's no way to create any sort of ambiance when you only have that one mirror. So
True.
if it is a space that you have this great soaking tub you spent all this money on, you don't really want the whole room with all the lights on. while you're soaking in there trying to relax. So you definitely want to think through creating that ambiance through layered lighting and different ideas through that.
It reminds me of just like of outdoor photography. You don't want to take photos during the middle of a sunny day where the sun is just bleaching everything out, because it just washes out the color. You don't get nice shadowing. But in the earlier morning or later in the evening when the sun's down lower and you're getting nice shadowing and the colors become so much brighter. It's the same with your lighting. If you spend a lot of money, put beautiful fixtures in, a beautiful tile floor, wall covering, whatever, and then you're just lighting it with this big blasting overhead light, you're washing everything out. You're not really taking advantage of all the investment that you put into there. But if you have, like you said, Jamie, different levels of lighting and different ways of lighting the room, then it gives you all those enhancements and really is worth it. And lighting can get expensive, but that's another one of the things that just really make a difference in a room.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, there's certain areas that you can add lighting that can really make an impression. I've seen a few times where we add a little, LED strip underneath the toe kick in a vanity. And I've always really liked that. I thought that's a really nice touch, not only just kind of the ambiance it gives to the bathroom, but also to keep on as a night light or anything like that. It can be a very functional light as well. So I've always liked that kind of design element that our designers put in on bathrooms a lot. But yeah, also speaking of kind of the using sconces over that down lighting, if you are going to be doing makeup or anything and shaving even, it can be very hard to see with the harsh shadows. Personally, for me, it's a must to have a mirror that you can pull from the wall. I hate when bathrooms don't have that.
Oh.
Whenever I travel, I'm like missing my mirror that I can pull from the wall. Get nice and close.
Is it lighted?
It's not. That's next.
Okay.
Goals.
All right.
If you see one lying around the office,
okay.
let me know.
All right.
I keep hoping someone's going to be like, oh, they don't want that
a reject.
one. Yeah, I'm looking for a reject if you see one around the office. But yeah, I would love a lit one for sure. Do those always need to be hardwired, or can you find battery operated ones that are mounted to a wall?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe with the LED, it's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that would make it a lot easier for me.
Yeah.
I'm getting specific now about my hand-me-downs.
That would make it easier for you to install.
Yes.
Since it would be you installing it, not Oscar, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm not. He's especially not on Father's Day. I don't think I'll get him to install a lit mirror for me.
Get him a screwdriver and a drill and a saw and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I know. I usually, with 3 little kids at home, finding a time to do tasks like that sort of thing is always this last minute and really fast speed hustle.
Definitely.
The other day we had maybe 20 minutes where the girls were napping, which my middle child rarely naps anymore. So I was like, oh, we have 20 minutes. Clean the garage. Go, 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 go. Directing everybody.
Well, in a few years, you'll send the kids out to clean the garage.
I know. I can't wait. I'm going to give them so many chores. But definitely lighting is an important factor for sure. And getting them lit independently, to turn on independently to create that ambiance.
Absolutely. Okay, and I agree with that as fact checker of this segment of the radio show. Okay, Jamie, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. And if you are thinking about a bathroom remodel, this is the right show to be listening to. But if you're just tuning in and missed the previous 3 segments, you need to go to davefoxradio.com, and there you can listen to all the stuff that you missed. And for those of you that have been here for the whole show, congratulations. You got all the data.
Yeah, and if you weren't planning on doing a bathroom remodel before, now we might have brought up some things that makes you want to do one.
Absolutely. Okay, so, and we do a lot of that, don't we, Jamie? Lots of bathrooms, kitchens, room additions, you name it.
Yeah. I would say master bathrooms and kitchens are probably some of the most popular remodels.
Yeah.
I think they're the biggest kind of life changers in a home and for consumers. I think they're a good place to spend some money.
Yeah. And our designers have so much fun with those. A lot of times I'm looking over plans and talking to them about a project they're working on, and they just light up and are talking to me about the things they put in there, and they love their job. I love that. So, Where are we at? We've been going through a list of things that Jamie got on the internet, and I'm fact checking everything. So I haven't, I guess, crossed off too much yet, right? I've pretty much agreed
not
with
too
everything.
bad. Not
Well,
too
give me
bad.
something that I'll disagree with, Jamie. So.
Oh, well, I tried to find accurate stuff, though.
Okay. All right. You've already pre-fact checked it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, well, now let's get into kind of layout, a little bit deeper into the layout options. We talked about it briefly at the beginning of the show. But with a larger space, especially in a master bathroom, we've done a couple master bathrooms that come to mind that were very large.
Yeah.
Space was an issue in an opposite form. It was too
Yeah.
much space. You know,
Yes.
there's only so many things that go in a bathroom.
Which can be a real design challenge, really.
Yeah.
If you have too much space.
I mean, beyond a tub, a shower, and vanity, toilet, what else can you put in there?
I don't know.
So,
Refrigerator, cooktop.
yeah, right? Why not? But it can be a very big challenge to kind of fill a
Yes,
space.
that's true.
So you definitely want to create zones if you run into that or have a large space. Even sometimes adding walls to create those zones. So maybe you have a getting ready area versus your kind of more bathroom area, and dividing it up, separating things out. You can have your tub shower area be a little bit more of a focal point. You can really kind of go big with them.
Yeah.
So not only do a bigger freestanding tub, you want to make sure you don't do a dinky little freestanding tub in this big space, but putting in an island sometimes we've done,
Yes.
with more storage and things like that. Making your tub the center can even kind of break things up, and even doing different tile patterns. I've seen our designers do some really cool things with tile design. Sometimes even doing tile that looks like an inlaid rug around the tub, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So fun things like that. But when there's a lot of space, you definitely don't want to just throw everything around the perimeter.
Yeah.
That creates a very stark feel.
Exactly. Yeah, because a good design is going to allow for efficient workflow and traffic flow. So just like a kitchen, if you have things spread too far apart, you'll walk yourself to death trying to put a meal together, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So in a bathroom, you have to think about those same things and really what's your traffic flow for whatever you're doing and make sure that it makes sense. So you've got your storage area, in the toilet area, bath area, vanity area. So a large space can be a real challenge to make it efficient because, like I said, you don't want to have to walk yourself to death when you're getting ready for whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. So some other things to kind of consider when you're doing a bathroom remodel and looking at the layout is just kind of remembering knowing what's behind the wall and planning out the space, especially if you're a do-it-yourselfer, can really be a big deal. And kind of where you can move things and maybe
In terms of mechanical.
yeah, and plumbing stacks and things like that. Figuring out where all that can move and what else is back there can kind of make or break your design. So having a little bit of know-how on how to design the space on top of actually how to physically do some of the labor is equally as important.
Yeah, many master baths, and many bathrooms for that any matter, are on the second floor.
Yeah.
So you've got plumbing and electricity coming up through the first floor walls. So you might have your main plumbing stack coming up there. And if you're doing a lot of rearranging in a bath, especially if you have a larger space and maybe you want to move the toilet clear to the other side of the wall or something, then you've got issues of running a 3-inch line through your floor system on your second floor. Sometimes we get into scenarios where we have to do a lot of reinforcement to the floor joists if we're running a large stack through a floor. So it's like almost anything can be done, but the level of efficiency drops when it becomes very complicated. So in a layout, when we are designing those spaces, we take all that stuff into consideration. And there's pros and cons, I think, to every single design, and they're all a series of compromises to some degree.
Yeah.
So cost being one of them.
Yep.
And so our clients, we have to be able to present them with the different opportunities and ideas and also the different budget numbers and let them evaluate whether it's worth it to them, to spend X more dollars to get a toilet moved here or there. And sometimes we even have to do a little change on the first floor, like make a little, you never can tell what you're up against. We're in all kinds of scenarios, but there's times when we could close in a corner or do something to accommodate some extra mechanicals going up to a bathroom. But, a bathroom does have a lot of mechanicals feeding it, and sometimes that can be a challenge if we're changing things around on the second floor.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too, when you're considering the layout and how much space you're going to have for everything, you almost want to go through what you have in your bathroom inside the drawers and cabinets and take a bit of inventory to decide what you need to design around. Maybe you always blow dry your hair and do all of this, and making sure you have the drawer capacity to hold that, or if you want the outlet in the drawer, things like that, kind of thinking through all those little details of your day-to-day routine and everything you have. Because the goal, if it all functions well, you won't end up with everything on your counter. If it functions poorly, you're going to end up with everything on your counter. So just trying to really plan ahead and do your due diligence on offerings and things like that, and space. I always think too, just with travel, I've come across a lot of poor designs in a bathroom where you go to get into the shower and the door swings into the handle to turn it on. So you have to go all the way in, turn it on in the freezing cold water, and then get out.
Yes.
Making sure you do your due diligence, I think, is really important, especially with a bathroom remodel.
Yeah. Jamie, I just happened to think about something we didn't talk about when we were talking about toilets, and that is the new washlet seats.
Yeah.
Which are like a bidet built into a toilet. And I know Toto makes some really nice equipment in that regard. But those are gaining in popularity a lot, and people do like them. And the only thing they really need is, if you're remodeling, they need an electrical outlet right behind the toilet for those to plug into. So that's something to keep in mind. If that, you should definitely check them out. So I know Toto's, it's called a washlet, and I highly recommend that brand. I have one in my own home. But if you're thinking about anything like that, make sure you check that out to see if that might be something worthwhile to you. Yeah,
definitely. And I think outlets in general is a good thing to kind of evaluate and count through. If you have your hair dryer, your curling iron, your flat iron, and your toothbrush, you're going to want to make sure you have enough outlets for that.
Yeah, with a lot of amperage feeding that circuit.
Yeah, definitely. But, I have all those things, plus my husband has an electric razor and an electric toothbrush, and it's a lot of things plugged in, and just accommodating all that and all the wires and things like that. I would love to do a bathroom remodel specifically for our things.
Well, everyone, we really appreciate you tuning in today for the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. Today's topic has been bathroom remodeling, and I want everybody to know that you can go to davefoxradio.com, and there you'll find all of our previously broadcast shows, and some are videotaped. You can go to our main website, davefox.com. We'd love to have you take a look at all the beautiful things Jamie's put together on the website. And you can always reach us by email. That's info@davefox.com. We'll be back here next Sunday morning at 8.